Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. So today's a new pricing video for CGC 9.8 comic books, where I just have a look on the internet and on eBay and check out some of those completed listings in the 9.8 and 25 CGC 9.8s to get through today. But I think one of the best things you can do if you're actively collecting CGC 9.8 comic books is to just get more information about the price and to know the fair market value for the key issue in the 9.8 that you might want, and way less of a chance you're ever going to overpay. And that's kind of what these videos are all about. So we'll get into the full list here. All the prices I'll talk about are in US dollars. They're all CGC 9.8 comic books too, everyone. And I'll have a list in the description below with the prices that you can check out if you want. So I got a couple books this week from the team. Yeah, some of the team out there buying and getting some good deals, I think, as well. Alamo City Collectibles got to me on Instagram. He let me know he purchased a Marvel Tales number 138. So Marvel Tales number 138 is an Amazing Spider-Man number 1 reprint. Yeah, really collectible, looking really cool. Alamo grabbed it for $99. Yeah, 99 US dollars. That's a really great price. I have the Marvel Tales 137. That's the Amazing Fantasy 15 reprint. Both of these are just so collectible. This is a really good price though. If you have a look on the internet and on eBay, there's like a couple of these for like, you know, $350 or best offer, $400. You know, people trying to really get a lot higher of a price than this. So this is really bang on like low end of fair market value. So very collectible Marvel Tales 138. Yeah, an underfollowed one to consider for sure. Chris had picked up a couple keys. He got an Amazing Spider-Man 299, awesome Venom cameo. He grabbed it for $290. And he also bought a Wolverine number 10. Yeah, really collectible issue, this one. Wolverine versus Sabretooth battle, classic cover, for $90 in the CGC 9.8. And Chris is from Europe too, and he mentioned like he got these kind of on, I'm pretty sure it was like a local deal where, you know, he didn't have to pay a lot for shipping and no taxes or customs or anything like that. So that's always a bonus when you can get books for like, you know, lower end of fair value. These are kind of like throwback prices. Yeah, like you know, $290 for Amazing Spider-Man 299 and $90 for Wolverine number 10. Yeah, great deals by Chris. Also saw Wolverine number 10 this morning sell for $139.99. So yeah, just making Chris's deal look even better. Yeah, Wolverine 10 going for $139.99. Steven also got to me and he watched our video yesterday and he ended up getting out there and purchasing a DC Comics Presents number 47. Yeah, the first appearance of He-Man and Skeletor. He grabbed this one for $895. Yeah, that's a great deal, I think. Right now, there's been two on eBay that had sold for a little over $900. So to get it just under 800 or under 900, I think is a fair value right now for a book that I think has a bright future. Yeah, and I talked about that on the last video. But great buy there by Steven. DC Comics Presents 47. Yes, such a collectible, wantable key. Okay, let's get into the full list here. First one, doing some of the research out there, I saw Miles Morales Spider-Man number 1, the animation variant sell. So this one has really done well since kind of, you know, Miles Morales fever has kind of struck. But this one ended up selling in an auction too. You like to see these sell in an auction right now. Get a good idea of the fair market value. $207.50 for Miles Morales Spider-Man number 1, the animation variant. So like, you know, about 12 months ago, I would call it, I bought mine for $99.99 and I thought it was a decent deal at the time. So now they're going for $207.50, even getting into the Spiderverse 2 movie with this really cool Miles Morales kind of Spiderverse swipe cover. I think this might even be able to get even hotter. So I think, you know, you kind of hold it now. If you want to sell, you can sell once, you know, maybe that trailer drops for Into the Spider-Verse 2. Okay, next one here is a Superman Batman number 22 in the 9.8. Saw this one sell. It was in an old case, so this could be one of the more original ones that were graded because this book has sort of gained popularity lately for being known as the first Batman Beyond in DC continuity, basically. Get a really cool Batman Beyond page in this book. This one in the 9.8 went for $200. Yeah, in an old case too. That was surprising. I thought this one would, you know, kind of stay around that 150 to 175 level. I didn't think it was that popular this quick yet. But going for 200 in an old case, yeah, this one, you know, maybe in the new case, you know, well over 200, you'd probably expect it to go for. So one to keep an eye on, Superman Batman 22. I saw a Fantastic Four number 243 sell. Yeah, this is a book I've recommended in the past as sort of a cool, affordable, sort of like a non-key issue, but just the coolest Galactus cover by John Byrne. And this one sold for $228.50 in an auction. So, you know, I had sort of saw these sell in auctions in the last year, let's call it, for like $125 to $130. And I really liked it. And occasionally I think I saw people pay like sort of $150 to $160 in a buy it now. But yeah, maybe a lot of people sort of feel like me and just loving this cover and paying over $200 now in an auction. This one going for was pretty surprising and maybe a sign of, yeah, just how hot the CGC 9.8 market is right now still. But a Fantastic Four 243, 228.50, you know, maybe try to get that under 200, to be honest. I think that's a bit of a bidding war overpay because it was an auction. Next one here is a Batman 404. Yeah, year one, part one of my favorite Batman issues to have and collect. Saw one sell in an auction for $213 in the 9.8 white pages, CGC. Yeah, that's a pretty decent price in this environment, I think, because this book has heated up with, you know, Robert Pattinson being a young Batman, and this is the first modern appearance of Catwoman, Selina Kyle, so another reason I think why this book is, you know, heating up. But just the most classic 80s Batman cover, even before, you know, any of the Batman Whispers. I already had one or two of these, and I got a couple of these in the 9.8 and a CBCS 9.8 of Batman 404. 213 I think is a decent price now. Yeah, right around $200 I think is a target to aim for sort of in this environment. And I think, you know, once the Batman comes out, I think it'll probably be going for even more than that in the 9.8. Next one here is an Uncanny XMen 221. Yeah, first Mr. Sinister. This one was in an auction too, and I think a bit surprising for me, this price. It ended up going for $376. Yeah, first appearance of Mr. Sinister. You know, a pretty cool book, but one I've said that for me kind of has an underwhelming cover, and it's not the rarest in the 9.8 for a book of this age. And even, you know, this is one where before the Mr. Sinister rumors really heated up here in the last 6 months that he's going to be a villain in the next MCU movies. This book was going for like $160 to $175 at one point there. It really lulled. $376 now seems expensive. Even I think a month ago one went for sort of $300-ish. So I think closer to $300, maybe a bit. This was a popular seller that kind of had this auction going, so I think this is a little bit overpriced. But still, if you're a Mr. Sinister fan, that's the one to have. I do have one in the newsstand version too of this one in the 9.8, so I mean it's super collectible, even though I kind of dogged the cover a bit. Next one here is Saga of the Swamp Thing 37. Yeah, so cool to see one of these sell. This is a book I've recommended in the past to grab. You know, John Constantine, first full John Constantine, and you know, he kind of stands out in sort of the sort of mix of heroes and villains out there. He kind of stands out as his own kind of thing. And in the 9.8 for this one, this could have been possibly a bidding war too. This one sold for $1,302. So I think in the video that I made like 2 months ago recommending to buy this one, I mentioned that, yeah, if you can get it for like $800, that's a pretty great deal. I don't know if that's doable anymore. Yeah, with just the market being really hot and, you know, maybe I'm pretty sure I read something on Instagram where they're teasing kind of a John Constantine movie, possibly. But $1,302, I think that's even a little bit too high. You know, try to get it closer to the 1,000 mark, I think is still possibly doable. But such a big key, one I would recommend. Really collectible, but yeah, Saga of the Swamp Thing, number 37, going for $1,302 in an auction. So I brought out my Batman Vengeance of Bane, and I did see one sell, and this book's pretty surprising too, because I always felt it was just sort of, you know, it was probably always going to be stuck at sort of the $225 to $250 price range, basically, for Batman Vengeance of Bane. It was really at that price for pretty much the whole time I've collected 9.8s up until the last 4 to 5 months here, where one is selling too. I saw one sell in an auction for $350. So yeah, this one, you know, it's a great book. I always mention this one when people are paying so much for these null books. I'm like, man, you can get a first appearance of Bane for like $250. So that just seems like a great value. You know, $350, still a pretty good value. Like, I see this is basically justified, I think. You know, hopefully maybe you can get it still closer to $300, but this is one to grab. Yeah, if you're a Batman fan, if you're a big villains fan like I am, I'm both of those things, so I wanted one, and just one to have for sure. Hopefully closer to $300, but one did sell for $350. So next one here is a Batman 363. This is a really cool underfollowed one, and I've recommended this one once or twice on some videos we've done, but as being a really great underfollowed one. It's a first full appearance of Nocturna, and you know, a Batman villain where I think there's a lot of potential there. She's so underfollowed clearly. But you know, given that studios kind of are rolling with kind of female heroes and villains, like it's a possibility that she could be in some Batman promo moving forward here in the next 5 or 10 years. Like, I don't know of anything kind of imminent, but this Batman 363 from that sort of low print Batman run of the 80s too that I really like, went for $152.50. So I think that's a pretty great price for Batman 363, first full appearance of Nocturna. And yeah, really kind of maybe epitomizes a sort of underfollowed, under the radar one comic book right now that does have a lot of potential though. Yeah, the first Nocturna, I think, is a pretty cool villain that they could run with if they wanted to. So next one is an interesting one. It's a Young Avengers #1. This is a really popular modern book. It's not too rare in the 9.8 on the census, so I've always sort of had this one as one I've kind of skipped over, and you know, maybe went after kind of Guardians of the Galaxy #1 from 2008 in the CGC 9.8. I kind of recommended that occasionally over this book. Still a really great cover. Young Avengers #1 ended up going for $445. I saw one end in. And you know, I was really used to this one going for about $250. Like $250 was a fair value, maybe even $225. You know, 8 to 12 months ago kind of thing. But this one is just heating up as well. I think there's some rumors out there. I'm not too sure, to be honest. But, you know, to be honest, one I wouldn't purchase at $445. You know, maybe if they come out with a Young Avengers, you know, movie or show or whatever it might be, then this book does really well. But if not, I think this could be kind of the peak for this book, possibly. And could be wrong, but still a really good cover. And I mean, if you kind of grew up around this book and want it, I mean, it's hopefully kind of get it closer to 400 would be my recommend. Next one here is a classic. Yeah, Wolverine #8. Saw one of these sell for $192.50. Yeah, and this is one I have, one I've recommended. And even, you know, I remember these sort of going for $125 to $150 quite often. But I even said on the last video we made about a Wolverine 8 that even up to $200, I think, it's a buyable comic. Like, this is just such a memorable classic 80s cover, Wolverine #8, that's really collectible, that you can still get for under $200. So I think it's still a buy. $192.50 one selling for. Next one's a really cool one. Venom #7, the Crane Virgin Edition. Yeah, this is a really collectible and sought after Venom cover with the Infinity Gauntlet by Clayton Crane. The Virgin Edition too, which there's the trade dress, which is kind of a little bit more affordable. But this one in the 9.8 Virgin Edition, saw one in an auction too, go for $470. Yeah, you know, and I'm trying to think, I don't think this was signed, actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a blue label. But yeah, that seems like quite a lot of money. But, you know, this, yeah, as I said, this is a well sought after cover. And I'm pretty sure I remember seeing these go for, you know, maybe just under 300, sort of around the 300 in the blue label, Venom #7. The Virgin Edition Clayton Crane cover going for $470 though. That seems a little bit expensive, but I think just a sign of the times, this market's really hot. Next one's a cool new one that is on a lot of people's radar, I think, right now. It's a Dark Knight's Death Metal, Legends of the Dark Knight #1. This is the 1 of 25 variant, so super long title on this one. It's the first King Robin, I believe it is. So 2 of these I saw sell in the CGC 9.8 auction, $227.50 and $245. So, you know, it's the variant, so, you know, kind of much lower printed, I would imagine, for sure, but still a brand new book, and over 200 in a brand new book is quite a lot, but, you know, this is a cool cover, I gotta say. I really like this cover with the sort of dino Batman on it. Yeah, one to consider if you're in this book. If you're into this book, this is the more rare variant, going for $227.50 and $245 in an auction. So that's a good idea of kind of the fair market value for those books. Another new one here is Thor number 5, the first print. So I kind of made some videos where Thor number 5, the third print with that cool Black Winter cover. I was really liking that one. This first print cover is awesome too. Yeah, just eye-catching cover. It looks great. And it's, yeah, really well wanted too, I think, in the community right now. In the 9.8, saw 2 of them sell in an auction, $136.22 and $142.50 for Thor number 5, the first print. Yeah, this is a pretty cool new one to get. You know, maybe worth, you know, getting in there if you really like this book. This could be a good price to just get in there now. I have a feeling this could be a decent one to have. Yeah, first full appearance of the Black Winter, really cool first print cover. Next book's really interesting to have a look at. I saw a Venom number 3 third printing sell in the CGC 9.8 in an auction. It ended up going for $662.10. So that's pretty interesting, because there were quite a few auctions when, I mean, No was just scorching hot like a month or 2 ago. And quite a few auctions that sort of went right over $800, kind of $800 to $850, anywhere in there. There were a few of them. So, you know, at that point I was saying, you know, first appearance of a really cool modern villain, but it is a modern villain, and you can always point at books like First Bane that are like $300, $350 and say maybe that doesn't make too much sense for a Venom number 3 third print at $800. But 662 is starting to get, you know, a little more reasonable, and makes me think about it, because, yeah, this Venom number 3 third print, it is low printed. This was, you know, a quite low printed book that really kind of captivated collectors, and now everyone wants it. So there's not a lot of 9.8s out there. 662.10 one sold for, I think, right around 600. If you're a big Null fan, this is the one to get if you're a big Null fan, in my opinion. And I think getting in there right around 600 if you can get one, I think is a buyable book. So yeah, Venom number 3 third print, maybe lulling a little bit, but kind of tempting me at this point. Yeah. Okay, next one here is a Batman 423. Yeah, so love this classic Batman Todd McFarlane cover. These completed sales ended about a week or 2 ago. I'm a little bit behind on these, but I did mention them on our sort of non-key video that we did. I talked about Batman 423. But 2 of them sold in the 9.8, and these I think are basically all-time high prices in the 9.8 for this comic book. $910 and $1,051 in the 9.8 for Batman 423, the first printing, you know, classic Todd McFarlane Batman cover in the CGC 9.8. Over $1,000. Yeah, that is exciting. You know, I got 2 of these in the 9.8. I got quite a few in the raw too. This is just one of my favorite issues that I really wanted right from the beginning. Like Batman being my favorite hero, McFarlane being my favorite artist. So this one is just so collectible, and yeah, it's not a key, but I think this one is just going to continue to be collected more and more, and the prices show that, you know, the McFarlane fans are out there, and there's not a lot of McFarlane Batman comic books that are looking really awesome. This is one of them, absolutely. Spawn Batman is kind of another McFarlane Batman where you get awesome McFarlane Batman interiors, and that one I would think is an affordable one. But Batman 423, so wantable. One going for $910 and the other for $1,051 in the CGC 9.8. Yeah, if you want it now, hopefully get it closer to $900 would be sort of my recommend. This could be just, you know, a sign of the times that this book is so hot right now for some reason. Next book is a really interesting one. I saw Spawn number 100, the Capullo variant sell. So this is a book that I do have. And I was really kind of blown away by this price. So in an auction, saw this one sell for $232.50. Spawn 100, Capullo variant, this exact comic right here. I bought mine for $79.99. Yeah, it was from a Canadian seller about a year ago, maybe. And he had it up for quite a long time. And, you know, I was looking for kind of cool Spawn 9.8s to buy. I remember this, and just wanted to keep it in Canada back then. I was remembering. And this was kind of the coolest Spawn comic in Canada, I thought. It's the coolest Spawn 9.8. But $232.50 just seems like a lot for this one. Me getting it for $79.99, and I don't know, like, maybe there's some rumors of a Spawn movie right now, but I think that's a bit of a bidding war broke out there, and hopefully you look to get this one under $150. There's not a lot on the census, though. Like, I remember, I think it might be like teens on the census. Like, there's just not a lot of these, so maybe just becoming more wanted. It's a great cover. I mean, awesome Capullo cover of the era. Like, just nails what Spawn was all about during that generation. Next one here. I got an Incredible Hulk 377, the second print I saw sell. This is one I've recommended in the past. This is like my pick out of the Incredible Hulk 377s. Because if you notice here, this one ended up going for $116.49. This is almost a steal here, this deal, because, you know, I always say this is kind of what the first print usually goes for. You know, maybe $110, $120, the normal first print. This being the second print, more rare with the black cover, going for $116.49, I think is a great deal. And I like the look of this cover better than the first print and the really rare third print. So this one kind of is in the sweet spot for me. Great deal, $116.49. I'd even pay, like, if it was looking great in a new case, in the second print black cover, I'd probably pay even up to $150 for this one. Because, yeah, it's just a cool, wantable kind of Hulk book of the era. So Hulk 377, second print going for $116.49. Great deal, I think. Next one, an Edge of Spider-Verse, number 2. I had a first appearance of Spider-Gwen. Yeah, such a big modern key. Saw one of these sell for $836. So that, I think, is kind of a bang-on sort of fair to maybe a little bit elevated price right now. I think if you're super patient on this one, maybe you get it under $800, but maybe I'm wrong because just these Spider-Gwen books are the Spider-Verse books are just really hot right now. $836 for me, you know, at that price where the Miles Morales book is just not even $100 more. Like, those are going for around $900 to $1,000. So we'll call it about $100 more. I would definitely go for Ultimate Fallout 4. Way lower 9.8 ratio, way more rare in the 9.8. So I would, you know, I would, yeah, probably look to get Edge of Spider-Verse number 2 closer to $700. And if you're willing to pay $850 or something for Edge of 2, I would just go for Ultimate Fallout 4 in the 9.8 and pay $100 more. But still, if you're a big Spider-Gwen fan, I mean, this is the one to get. So, you know, I don't want to dog it too much. Next one here is a hot book right now. Yeah, an Amazing Spider-Man number 4. This is when Cindy Moon becomes Silk. And seeing one of these in the first print blue label selling in an auction for $317. And there's been some people on the team that have really went after this book, and, you know, luckily they got at it a couple months ago, and they were sort of buying this book around $200. So for one to go for $317, I think is, you know, a sign that this book is really hot. I believe there's like a TV show that's confirmed, like a Silk TV show or something like that. This book's getting pretty hot. I would maybe wait for maybe it to lull a bit closer to the 250 area. Also, the variant of this one, Amazing Spider-Man number 4, seems to be a little bit more wanted, and I think it's kind of a cooler cover, so maybe consider the variant, which is admittedly even more money. I think that one's about $500 to $600. So, but Amazing Spider-Man number 4 is a book that's really hot right now. Maybe you might want to be a little patient on it. You can probably get a better price. Okay, and the last two here, we got Iron Man number 128. Yeah, the Demon in a Bottle classic key issue of the era for Iron Man. In the CGC 9.8 white pages. Saw one sell for $499. Yeah, this is a big Iron Man key of the era, and it's always been quite expensive. But I think, you know, I was sort of more used to it going around $400. You know, maybe if you got lucky in an auction, it would have went for a little bit under, maybe $375. But in this environment, one selling for $4.99 kind of makes sense. Yeah, because I think those prices I was used to kind of 8 to 12 months ago-ish. So $4.99, probably a decent deal for this one in the CGC 9.8. Yeah, classic Iron Man key issue. Iron Man 128, the Demon in a Bottle cover for $4.99. All right, last CGC 9.8 that I saw here selling is a cool underfollowed one too that it was hot in the past, but now it's cooling off. And I like kind of the area to buy this book right now, I think is good, the environment. So it's Alias #1, first appearance of Jessica Jones. Yeah, Alias #1. Saw one sell for $179.99. And that is like bang on kind of fair value for this book. I think, you know, maybe if you're super lucky, you get it for $150. If you want it now, maybe you pay up for $200. $180, kind of right in the middle, fair value. And as I said, yeah, this book was definitely over $200 in the 9.8 during the whole Jessica Jones on Netflix and everyone was liking the show. Now it's kind of cooled off, and that's totally my style. If you really like Jessica Jones, this one is nice and cold, and you can get in there and get it for a pretty good price. So yeah, Alias #1. Selling for $179.99. Hopefully you get it closer to $150, I think could be a target to aim for that one. Okay, that is the full list of 25. Yeah, and I'll have the full list in the description below with the prices if you want to have a look at the list as a resource. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Love these pricing videos, just kind of getting on top of the prices kind of feels good. And whenever you have more knowledge of something, you just kind of feel better kind of navigating and buying CGC 9.8s. If you haven't already, I would invite you to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8. Hit the bell for all the latest video notifications and add me on Instagram and Twitter as well. All right, yeah, I hope you got some ideas on the video today. I think, yeah, with that Venom 3 third print lulling, that's kind of exciting because I always thought over 800 was maybe a little bit too much, but closer to 500 to 600 for that low printed Venom #3 third print is getting more tempting for me in the 9.8. All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. And yeah, I really appreciate all the messages on Instagram and just loving all the conversations I'm having with the whole team, buying comic books and stuff like that. So keep the messages coming. Thank you very much for watching. Again, I'll see you on the next one.